Independence supporters gathered outside the Catalan parliament in Barcelona, Spain, on Friday. Jack Taylor. Getty Images. Barcelona, Spain. Spain's leader fired the government of the country's Catalonia region on Friday, dissolved the regional parliament and ordered new elections after defiant Catalan lawmakers declared independence, escalating the biggest political crisis that hit Spain in decades. The measures announced by Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy in a televised address capped a frenzied day of political maneuvering in Madrid, Spain's capital, and Barcelona, the capital of Catalonia, where the long drive for independence, illegal under Spain's constitution, has now reached its fiercest level yet. We believe it is urgent to listen to Catalan citizens, to all of them, so that they can decide their future and nobody can act outside the law on their behalf, Mr. Rajoy said. We never wanted to reach this situation, never, he said. The steps announced by Mr. Rajoy mean Spain will take direct control over one of the country's autonomous regions for the first time since Spain embraced democracy in 1978. How quickly and forcefully that control will be imposed, and whether separatist leaders will resist, were unclear as of Friday night. But the coming days could determine whether the takeover is peaceful or turns messy and violent. At the end of what he called a sad day for Spaniards, Mr. Rajoy assured them that he had the means to end a secessionist threat that, he said, was based on lies, frauds and impositions. He removed the Catalan leader, Carles Puigdemont, and his cabinet, as well the Director General of the Autonomous Police Force. He also closed down Catalonia's representative offices overseas. In ordering the Catalan parliament to dissolve, Mr. Rajoy said new regional elections would be held December 21. Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy of Spain spoke after the Senate voted on Friday to grant him powers to take direct administrative control over the Catalan region. Juanjo Martin, European press photo agency. Pending the elections and formation of a new regional government, Mr. Rajoy said, Catalonia's administration would be run from Madrid. Fueled by a distinct language and culture as well as economic grievances, aspirations for a separate state have percolated for generations in Catalonia before boiling over this month. The events on Friday, coming in the chaotic aftermath of an October 1 independence referendum in Catalonia, were greeted variously with anger, concern and elation on both sides, with the prospect of even more volatile confrontations in days ahead as the Spanish government moves to put the steps in place. Spain's Attorney General may now seek to detain Catalan leaders on grounds of rebellion. Such moves were likely to turn the boisterous separatist street celebrations that greeted the independence declaration on Friday into mass protests, with one Catalan labor union already calling on workers to stage a general strike on Monday. During the debate in the regional parliament that preceded their vote for independence, Catalan lawmakers traded accusations and in turn described the occasion as historic and happy, or else tragic and a violation of Spain's constitution, perhaps the only thing on which both sides agreed. Within an hour of the Catalan vote, the Spanish Senate in Madrid voted 214 to 47 to invoke Article 155 of Spain's constitution, granting Mr. Rajoy extraordinary powers to take direct administrative control over the region and remove secessionist politicians, including Mr. Puigdemont, the Catalan leader. In a speech on Friday before the vote, Mr. Rajoy had said he had no alternative because Mr. Puigdemont and his separatist government had pursued an illegal and unilateral path that was contrary to the normal behavior in any democratic country like ours. Undeterred by the government's threat, and after a bitter debate, separatists in the Catalan parliament passed a resolution to create a Catalan republic as an independent state. Most of the lawmakers opposed to independence walked out of the chamber in protest before the vote. Since the region's referendum on October 1, Mr. Puigdemont had been squeezed in a tightening vice of his own creation, and seemed at times to contradict his own declarations as he squirmed for a way out. Separatist lawmakers in the Catalan parliament applauded after the resolution passed. Those opposed to independence walked out in protest before the vote. David Ramos. Getty Images. Mr. Puigdemont, a former small city mayor, was trapped between the demands from Catalan hardliners to declare independence on one side, and, on the other side, the stiffening response from a Rajoy government determined to preserve the nation's constitution and territorial integrity. Despite pleas for mediation, he and his region's independence bid were shunned and condemned, not only by the Madrid central government but also by European Union officials wary of encouraging similarly minded secessionist movements around the continent. European leaders made clear on Friday that they would not be recognizing Catalan independence and would support Mr. Rajoy as leader of one of the bloc's most important member states. Donald Tusk, the president of the European Council, wrote in a Twitter post that nothing changes and Spain remains our only interlocutor. For EU nothing changes. Spain remains our only interlocutor. I hope the Spanish government favors force of argument, not argument of force. Donald Tusk at UK President October 27, 2017. Searching for a compromise, Mr. Puigdemont came close on Thursday to calling early regional elections in hopes of forestalling the drastic measures approved by the Spanish Senate on Friday and preserving Catalonia's autonomy. But Madrid would offer no guarantee that it would not clamp down on the region, Mr. Puigdemont said, as he immediately faced a revolt in his own ranks from secessionist hardliners who called him a traitor. After hours of wavering on Thursday, he relented and threw the decision on independence to Catalan lawmakers, who took the fateful plunge on Friday. Addressing the Catalan parliament in Spanish, Carlos Carrizosa, a lawmaker from Ciudadanos, a party that opposes secession, told Mr. Puigdemont and separatist lawmakers that, far from creating a new Catalan republic, you will go down in history for having fractured Catalonia and for sinking the institutions of Catalonia. In front of the assembly, he tore apart a copy of the independence resolution. Your job is not to promise unrealizable dreams but to improve the daily lives of people, he said. Before the independence vote, Marta Rovira, a separatist lawmaker, told the assembly that today we start on a new path to build a better country. She added, we are creating a country free of repression. Catalan lawmakers who voted for independence could face prosecution for sedition, or even rebellion. Marta Ribas, a Catalan lawmaker, said that Madrid's use of Article 155 was unjustified, but also argued that it's a mistake to respond to one outrageous act with another outrageous act. She added, a declaration of independence won't protect us from the 155, quite the contrary. In the streets outside the Catalan parliament in Barcelona, not far from a boisterous pro-independence rally, a few Catalans quietly expressed similar frustrations. The October 1 referendum did not give the Catalan government the legitimacy to vote to secede, said Federico Escolar, 53, a cafe owner. Most of the people who would have voted no did not participate, Mr. Escolar said, while smoking a cigarette outside his cafe. It was not a proper referendum. It was illegal. Walking into a nearby subway station, Cristina Juana, a 38-year-old social worker, agreed, neither Puigdemont nor the Catalan government knows exactly what the Catalan people's opinion is, Ms. Juana said. Before the Catalan parliament's vote for independence on Friday, large crowds had gathered outside in anticipation of what they hoped would be a historic day for Catalonia. Many were draped in flags as they watched the parliamentary debate on two large screens, cheering during speeches by pro-independence lawmakers and hissing those of their opponents. When proceedings hit a lull, the crowd cycled through a series of pro-independence chants. Spanish occupiers was one, a reference to the national police officers who tried to stop the October 1 referendum by force. Leave Catalonia. David Messiger contributed, reporting.